Oh. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm going to start a little bit early than my 10 minutes that I had said because as I am looking here, I already see my battery is down to 87% and I have just turned it on. I do not know what the world the problem is. I'm getting very frustrated with this, as you probably all have noticed. Um, yeah, I just am at a loss for how to fix it oh, short of, I think I'm just going to have to buy a new laptop because I turned off my camera where you usually see my picture here or my face here that I'm talking to you, and I have that turned off. The only thing I have on is my camera that's showing my stitching and my screen share so that you can see what I'm stitching, and still having trouble. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's just a mess. But anyway, I thought I'd jump on quick here for a quick live and show you all. Okay, am I seeing the comments? Okay, you guys are quiet. You can hear me, can't you? Okay, I know. Let's see. Teresa, you heard me stretching in the background, didn't you? Oh, so I think I'm coming across okay. All right. So like I said, I thought I'd jump on real quick and show you. Hi, Nicole. How are you? Thanks for joining. Um, I've been testing out a new way, just because I was curious. And actually, what I don't know if I want to continue stitching this way. However, I did want to just test it out. Um, I don't know how many of you have watched Gemma Stitches. She has done several videos on her technique and where she's stitching on the diagonal, but she's stitching so that she doesn't fill in anything unless, or she doesn't block anything in. So she doesn't stitch it till everything is, okay, it's a little hard to explain. Like she wouldn't stitch out here and let these stitches unstitched. Okay, so she's gradually working down and out. Now, what I decided to try is to just, instead of stitching row by row across and back and zigzagging down, what I decided to try is to stitch actually as you would a basket weave stitch. Now, hi Martina, how are you? Oh, there went my timer. Okay. I decided to try stitching it as you would a basket weave stitch and just work down the diagonal, stitching the rows this way. It's kind of interesting. And what I'm noticing is no diagonal line, which I also find quite interesting. So let me show you what I've been doing, okay? 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna mark off my stitches here as I stitch them. Okay, so I've been going like this. Now this one, okay, I don't know. Some of these colors are very light, so it's hard to see. Let me see if I can move this down and get you just a smidge bit closer and still have room for my hand to actually stitch. Okay, so I'm working down. Now this next stitch, which is right here, and it's a very light blue, I already did stitch, so I'm going to move past that. So that would be, oh, I can't point on, can't see me pointing on my chart. Okay, so you see the next space in that row is one I already stitched. Now I'm going to stitch 1, 2, 3, 4 down to the next line, which would be 5. I hope you can all see this okay. These colors don't show up, and if I give you more light, I think I'm going to wash them out. There. Whoops. Sorry about that. Hi, Nicola. How are you? Carolina, nice to see you here. Welcome. So that's 1. So see, I'm just working it down the diagonal as you would a basket weave. Now I will say, to stitch the whole thing this way will probably take a very long time. I actually, do any of you have the Stitch, I think it's called Stitch Pal, that app? You can put your total number of stitches in, and you can put in a target date where you'd like to have it finished by, and it tells you how many stitches a day that you need to do to complete it. Well, for me to have it done by the end of, let's see, we're going into 22. So for me to have it done by the end of December 31st of 2023, I have to do almost 500 stitches a day. Oh, I mean, that can happen. However, will I do that every day? Hard to say. To do 500 stitches a day, I really wouldn't be working on anything else. Okay. Oh, phooey, now I unthreaded my needle. Let me switch to an easier one to thread. I love these ballpoint needles. I truly, truly love. Nurse Binky, hello, how are you? That's a new name to me, so welcome. I'm glad you're joining us. Like I said, guys, this is going to be probably short, and if I suddenly disappear, it's because my battery gave out, and my software, which I use, I'm on a Mac, or yeah, a MacBook Pro, and it shouldn't do this, but it is. Um, and I use Ecamm is my software that I use. And if my battery runs out, my Ecamm crashes. So if I suddenly disappear, that's why. Hi, Rose. How are you today? Welcome. So, okay, I did all of these now. Oops. Okay, all of those are done. And I'm down to the symbol that's where it's parked. So now I'm going to pick up that thread and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, what did I just? I shouldn't have parked that there. I have it plugged in, Carolina. It is plugged into the power. And that's the problem. I have it plugged into the power. And even though the power is on, the battery, when the battery, internal battery goes, um, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When the internal battery goes, the program shuts down. Hi, Lee. Welcome from New Zealand. All right. So what I'm going to try and do is work on it a little bit more this afternoon and see if I can, I don't know, do something. I restart my laptop before I do a lot, before I want to go live. Um, I check the activity monitor, making sure that I don't have any other programs running that are draining the CPU. I just don't know what else to do. I've watched over the last few days what feels like a bazillion videos to try and figure this out and fix it. And just when I think I have it fixed, it goes in the dumper again. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Now here I see I have a thread parked and it's the same color. And I'm sorry these colors aren't any brighter, that they aren't a little easier to see. So that's 5. So what I'm going to do is catch it on the little needle minder I made there. 1, whoops. 1, 2. I love Pattern Keeper, but half the time I forget to switch the symbol. 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I'm going to do is, since I have a thread parked here, oh gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a thread the same color parked there. I'm going to move this one, carry it back up here, and park it up there. Yeah. So that would be 1, 2, 3 down from this. 1, 2, 3 down from that. So if I park it there, yeah. Okay, so I'll carry it back up. And this is part, and Gemma, if you ever stop in here, let me know how similar this is to what you're doing. Caroline, so that's odd. Your laptop works without battery completely. Thought it might be the same. Never had a Mac, just Windows. Yes, I would have thought, since it was plugged in to the power adapter, that everything would still continue to work even if the internal battery died. I just don't understand. It could be the barrier that's bad. Yeah. And the thing is, okay, I have my camera plugged into a hub. The hub is also plugged into its own barrier, um, to its own power adapter. So that should be powering my camera. My tablet is connected wirelessly. So I just don't understand why it's draining my resources. Because now I'm down to 79%. So, oh, oh, just makes me frustrated and crazy. And I was so frustrated yesterday when I really wanted to do a live stream, and I really wanted to do a longer one. I had all kinds of plans for this weekend to be able to do live streams and do longer ones, and probably more often and every day, because my husband went, he's actually hunting. Well, he doesn't hunt anymore, but he went to his hunting camp. And I like here all by my lonesome. So I thought, oh golly, what a better time to sit and stitch and, do live streams and chat with all of you. And it just isn't working out. It sounds like maybe it's having to use the battery while plugged in, so it could be the power cable that's plugged in is going bad. Well, that's another thought, Teresa. I could switch power cords. I don't know. It's a MacBook Pro. It's 2019, so it isn't really that old. Now, I will also say that I recently updated it to the Monterey, which is the new operating system for a Mac. And really, my troubles really started after I did that. So I wonder what that might have done. But as I said, who knows? I'm kind of leaning towards the fact that I'm kind of over this headache and fuss and carrying on, and I just might look at the new 14-inch MacBook Pro with the M1 processor, and hopefully that will resolve all the issues. But we shall see. Anyway, like I said, this stitching this way, I'm finding it to be rather slow. However, the good side of it is I don't see any column lines, no diagonal lines. And that's a big plus for me anyway. Because if you guys remember, those of you that have been around for a while, if you guys remember, I had lines on my, and I'm going to end this thread, on my Stitcher's Retreat. I had some diagonal lines. They were very, very faint, but they didn't come out when I washed and pressed it as I thought they would. And I was really fortunate that my framer was able to pull them out when she framed it. So I still could see some very, 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 very faintly, but nothing that I was going to lose sleep over. So, and I know we all get concerned about lines. Well, for the simple reason that, are they going to come out or are they not going to come out? And, we've all seen some horror stories that didn't come out. I just keep going back to the one woman, and I honestly can't remember her name anymore, who was stitching in columns, and the whole top of her piece was just filled with column lines. Oh, just, and she washed it several times, and she took it to the framer, and the framer basically told her they weren't even going to touch it because there was no way they could pull out those column lines, and I felt so, so terrible bad for her. So, we all try and do the best we can to avoid that happening. So, which is another reason, and like I said, you guys that have been around for a while know me. I'm always experimenting with, ooh, how can I do something different? What do I have here? Something's caught. You know, what can I do different? Is there a different? Okay, there we go. Is there a different way to stitch that's going to be better? That I'm going to like better? Um, I'm always experimenting. Teresa, your Mac is a desktop. Try checking power saving settings. The update may have changed something there. I will do that when we're off of here. I will absolutely, absolutely do that. Well, here's the good news. It's holding at 79%. So maybe it's gonna hold there and oh, you have to go to work. Oh, bless your heart. On a Saturday. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, have a good day. Don't work too hard. And we'll catch you next time. But thanks for stopping in and thanks for your advice. I will check that out. But thank you so much. I appreciate all your help. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so now we're down to this other parked one. I will say that going stitching this your rows, I guess I would call them rows. Stitching your rows this way does take a tad bit of getting used to. It kind of sort of messes with your head a little bit. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it something that you'd want to try, or am I just being nutsy cuckoo, which can be a rather short trip? Um, get these out of the way. Like I said, it has its pluses, and that being that I'm not getting any lines so far. Downside being it's slow. So it's, I don't know what I would give this, I don't know what name I would give this method. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I would have to call it a diagonal snake method. I don't know. Is that something that would that name fit? And I think maybe once you get into it, it might go a bit faster. Like I said, I just played around with it yesterday, and yeah, what's today? Saturday. I just played around with it a little bit last evening and this morning, um, before I came on here. So, I'm not, shoot, I'm not 100% sure of it yet. And I'm not 100% sure, is this a way that I want to continue, or is it just a fun little experiment? Okay, let's see. I guess, all right, I guess I'll park it down. I guess I'll end it off after I do these 2 stitches. I don't know that I want to necessarily park that far away. Now, it's not too bad doing this method right now because I'm not using that terrible many colors. Would it get far more confusing if I had more colors going? I'm guessing that it would. And I know uh, Gemma, I hope I'm saying your name right. Gemma Stitches. I know that she has many threads parked, and oftentimes the same color parked. And like she said, she kind of makes a spur of the, well, yeah, I guess it would be a spur of the moment decision as to, is she going to end that particular thread? Is she going to carry that in a different direction? Um, like, is the color flow mainly concentrated more towards the top, and then there's a whole bunch again towards the bottom? So she has another thread started that she's going down with, and one thread that she goes up with. It is. I get what she says about making those decisions at the time. That all makes perfect sense to me. So we did these 2, and we ended the thread. So now we're going to do these. So guys, tell me what you think of this. Am I crazy? Is it worth stitching this way? Should I do more videos on it? What do you think? Hmm? Anybody? You're all so quiet today. That's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if you can hear the mower running. Oh, okay, Nicole. I should keep doing it and show you more about it. Okay. I mean, it is interesting. Like I said, it's a little bit um, of a challenge to wrap your head around reading your chart diagonally as a diagonal line instead of, stitching your 10 across. Yeah, Rose, I do think it looks nice. I mean, the stitches seem um, to look neat. I'm always coming up in empty holes, so that's a good thing. So we're not, that's following the same principle as before when stitching on the one, two, three, when stitching on the diagonal. Did I goof up here? Yes, I did. I stitched down too far. One, two, three. Yeah. Pull these out. Stitch two too many. I was saying, if you hear a mower, it's my next door neighbor is picking up leaves. Phooey, phooey, phooey. Sometimes I wonder, why do I frog a color that the color I'm going to replace it with is so close to the color I'm pulling out that, are you really going to know the difference? Probably not. What is my favorite stand to work on? Um, right now I'm on my Lowry stand. That it's a very good stand, don't misunderstand me. There's nothing wrong with it. However, it's not, what am I caught on? That. It's not my favorite stand. Um, I like my desktop Patoki. If I'm going to be sitting at a table, the only thing drawback to, and I do really like it. The only drawback to that is my back will start to bother me if I'm sitting in a straight back chair okay, for too long. However, it's a great stand, a wonderful stand, especially if you're going to retreats and you're going to be sitting at tables. It's a fantastic stand for that. I truly do love it. Um, my Nurge stand is a good stand. That one is a lap stand that I actually can sit on. The drawback to that one is, I do like that one also, is it only will hold hoops. You can't put a Q-snap in it. So So I have ordered, and with any amount of luck, it should be here. It should be here soon. I'm hoping it's here soon. I paid for it in September, and I checked with them in October, and uh, it was being finished up and getting ready to go for its inspections and what have you before it could be shipped. And that's the Patoki um, floor stand. And I'm getting the one that will hold hoops and Q-snaps. Because I have found over the years that as much, one, two, three, as much as I want to love scroll frames, I just can't. I just, I don't know. I just find them uncomfortable. Um, I do stitch two-handed on them, but it's just not my favorite way to stitch. So when I ordered the Patoki, I ordered the one that um, it holds hoops and Q-snaps. It's the same one that Luda, cross stitching with Luda. It's the same one that she has, and she had done a video on it. Oh wow, quite some time ago, as I recollect. Um, Here we are. As I say, oh my goodness, I lost my place. Um, so I'm hoping that that's going to be my favorite one because I can position that next to my chair. I can get it at a better height. I'm hoping I can get it at a better height and angle that I can sit in my recliner comfortably and stitch the day away. I'm hoping. I'm hoping. So we'll see. I'll let you all know when it gets here, and I'll probably look at doing an unboxing and set it up and then a demonstration with it. So we'll see. We'll see. Golly geez, I hope I have it by the end of the year. That's my hope. But then again, it depends on exactly when it gets shipped. And then again, it depends on the post office. Postal service, I don't know about you guys, but I think I talked about this in my last video. Postal service here has been a bit challenging. Um, but then again, it is what it is, and I'm sure it will get here. And I don't doubt that I'm sure that Patoki will send it and get it in the mail as soon as they can. Um, I will say it's a bit pricey. However, the workmanship is outstanding on their stands. So in my mind, it's worth every penny. And as long as it works as well as I'm hoping that it works, it will certainly be worth every penny. Oh, you're quite welcome, Yvonne. Absolutely welcome. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever had a stand that I absolutely hated. Uh, and I feel like I've tried many, many stands out there. So I've tried many. I've liked some. I've disliked some. And stands are stands are really, it's hard to say that because I love XYZ stand that everyone else is going to love that stand. It's hard to say that. I think stands are a very personal thing. What it depends on what your stitching style is. It depends on how you prefer to sit to stitch. Um, do you like a lap stand? Do you want it in your lap? Do you use scroll frames? Well, scroll frames are certainly going to take a different kind of stand than somebody who's using Q snaps or hoops. It's very personal to that each particular person. You know, do you like your stitching up close to you where you're really kind of down or up on it? Um, do you like it a distance away? There, everybody's different. You loved your mom's almanac stand and frames, but can't use it anymore. Oh no! Why is that? Kath, welcome. I'm so glad you found us. You were watching my tutorial on one-to-one stitching and found my live stream. Well, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that and welcome, and I hope you find some things here that you like. Um, yeah, yeah, Carolyn. What's you can't use it anymore? Do you have trouble stitching on it? Do you not like the scrolls? And like I said, everybody's different. I tried really, really hard to love scroll frames. I really did. And there for a while, when I was having trouble with my hands, sometimes this tablet is just fickle. Try this again. Okay. Um, I was having trouble with my hand. I had basal joint arthritis in the base of my thumb and ended up having surgery to take an arthritic bone out and what have you. And before I had that done, I couldn't hold a hoop or a Q-snap or stitch two-handed to save my soul. So that's when I went the almanac frame um, route and thought I was going to have to use them and make myself like them, to which I ended up having surgery on my hand, which was a godsend. And now it's, golly, geez, it feels good as new. So I'm back to using hoops and Q-snaps. However, I don't like to, my hand gets tired very easily. Hence the reason I like to use some kind of a stand. Back to boob stitching. I know the feeling, Carolyn. I'm the same way. I If I have to sit at a stand where I have to sit at a table or a desk, or sit up straight for too long, it literally kills my back. Which is why, yep, I went back to the hoops and the Q snaps, because I can sit back in my recliner. I can hold them better than I could hold them before my hand surgery. Um, yeah. And you know what? I was always a hoop stitcher from the time I ever started stitching many, 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 many years ago. Um, but yeah, I get you. I hear you. And it's like I said, it's all what different people prefer different things, hence the saying different strokes for different folks. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're all different. We all have different styles. The most important thing in my mind is find what works for you. And you find what works for you, and don't worry about what anybody else thinks or what anybody else says. It's what works. It's what works for you. Okay, I'm hoping I'm going to pronounce your name right. Is it Anok? Anok? You have a color finish? Yay! It was 355 stitches, but a color finish is a color finish. You are absolutely right. A color finish is certainly a color finish and to be rewarded. So good for you. That is awesome. I'm afeared it's going to be a long time until I have a color finish on this one. Oh, it is a total of, and I can't believe it's a nice round number, 260,000 stitches. 260,000. That is only half the size, half the size of my Stitcher's Retreat, because that was 400, well, a little over half the size of my Stitcher's Retreat. My Stitcher's Retreat was 468,000 stitches. So, moral of the story, if we can do that one, we can do this one. Right? Right. Just keep stitching, just keep stitching. Insert Dory's melody here. Yep, just keep stitching. That's what we all need to do. Stitching brings me joy. Oh, I keep bumping this Lowry stand, so pardon my shake. Um, yes, stitching brings me joy. Everybody said to me when I retired, and golly, I can't believe it. It's almost 10 years ago that I retired. Oh my God, that just blows my mind every time I think about that. Um, yeah, wow. Anyway, everybody said to me, "Aren't you going to be bored? You're going to be so bored when you retired." And I was an assistant director of nursing in a long-term care facility. And everybody said, "Oh, you're going to be so bored when you retire. What are you going to do?" And I looked at them and I said, "There is no way I will be bored. No way. As long as I have my stitching, there is no such thing as boredom. It ain't going to be happening." And that's been true. I have stitched darn near, with some exceptions, obviously, every day. At least some. Maybe not a lot every day, but I have at least had a needle in my hand almost every day, which is wonderful. And no, I have not been bored one moment in my life. Oh, let's see. Carolina actually had quite a few on my gamer today. I'm 5% away from finishing. Oh my goodness, that is so close. So close. 8,700 stitches left. Ah, awesome. Oh, you can finish that in no time. I'll give you, let me see. 8,700. I'll give you 1 month. You can finish that in less than a month, Carolina. Marie, 5 years to go till retirement. Ah, bless your heart. Those last 5 years for me were the hardest. No, no, that last year was the hardest. Oh my God. I could not wait for that year to be over. Ali Juno, hi. Welcome. So glad to see you here. It's going okay. How are you doing? Stitcher will never be bored in her retirement. She only gets more happy with so much time to stitch. Yes, yes, you are so, so right. Absolutely right. And then when you can add a few retreats on top of it yet, it's just wonderful. Just absolutely wonderful. Okay, what did I do? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I have one more to do yet. Sometimes I confuse myself. See this 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, yep. Going on this diagonal like this does um, mess with your head a little bit. I end up frequently having to check, am I in the right spot, by um, by counting the stitches left. Thank God, all I can say is thank God for gridded fabric. Whoever came up with that idea, kudos to them, because these charts would be absolutely a bear to stitch without gridding. And if I don't have gridded fabric, I do grid it myself. Glad I caught the live stream. I was at the store when I got the notification, so it was gotta hurry so I can get home. Well, I'm glad you got home in time. I'm so glad you got home in time. In fact, I just saw, Ali Juno, I just saw that you have is it a stitch with me posted? And I want to watch that probably this afternoon, because I thought I'm not going to stay on real long at this moment, and we'll probably try and come back maybe this evening for another session. It's 12:30 p.m. there. Where are you? Because it's 12:30 where I am. So are you in the Eastern time zone? Oh, Martina, 18 more years. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. Oh, okay. You're in the Eastern time zone. Okay. So you're on the same time zone as me. I'm in Pennsylvania, but maybe you knew that already. Eastern Pennsylvania. Oh, you're in Indiana. Okay. Okay. And that's still Eastern time zone. Hmm. That's interesting. Okay, okay, but you're talking to the dummy here who has does not know where the time zone lines are. What can I say? One, two, three, four, five. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, did I not mark something off here? Because it looks a little amiss. Oh, okay, let me see if I can straighten this out. I think I didn't mark something off on my last row or marked it wrong. See, that's the only thing with doing it this way, guys. Go about an hour away and it's different time zone. Okay. And it's 1840 where you are an Anoke. So that would be 18, 16, 1840 would be 640. Okay. So you must be United Kingdom somewhere. Hi, Debbie. Welcome. Thanks for joining. One, two, three, four. Two. Pardon me while I count out loud. Four. I think I forgot to mark some off here. Okay. So I went one, two, three, four. 540 in the UK. Okay. I always have to stop and think about military time or, yeah. Although I shouldn't have to stop and think about it that hard because that's what we did all our charting when I worked was in that time. Swamp stitching with Tammy. You're in Louisiana and when you travel east around Alabama. Okay. Well, welcome, Swamp Stitching. I'm glad to see you are joining us today. Another new another new face, or I should say a new name. Oh, sure, Rose. I can show you that. Would make it Do you want me to show you how, Rose, do you want me to show you how to make the line go the other way? Or do you think lines both ways would make it, oh, would it make sense to put the diagonal line in the other direction, maybe for helping where I want to park? Well, let's see. Do you guys know, you guys know how to put the lines in? Lines, diagonal lines. What if I turn them on in both directions? Let's see what that does. Wrong. Well, I'm glad, Swamp Stitches, that you caught me live. I'm glad you're here. Everyone is always welcome. Yeah, I just turned them on, so let's. I think what happened is I just forgot to mark some off. I think that's what happened. But who knows? Hi, Jody. How are you today? Nice to see you, or see your name here, since I really can't actually see anybody. But wouldn't that be fun to actually do a one, two, three, four, five, six. One, two, three, four, five, six. Okay, that's what I did. I forgot to mark some of these off. There. So now we're here, here, and here. One, two, three, four, five. One, two, three. See, it's hard. It's hard wrapping your head around this a little bit. Hi, Marlies. How are you today? Yes, I did forget to mark them. Thanks for catching that. I think we got them now. See, that's what I mean. This is, I'm kind of liking the way this stitching looks. Um, I really am. It's just a little bit tough to wrap your head around it. Whoops, I keep bumping this Lowry stand, honest to goodness. So let's see, let's go here. So I want to go up one past the next diagonal mark. Where am I here? There. Oh, Jody, I'm thinking about the last message you wrote me. Wasn't it you that said when you watched the video, was that you or was that Fran, that you were thinking, oh, I'd like to see a picture, and up there it was. Oh, Marley's a cold. Oh, no, 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 no. That's terrible. No voice. Yes, but you can listen. Well, you can type too. For that, you don't need to need to have a voice. Uh, I'm sorry that you have a cold. It's that time of year, isn't it? I don't know about you guys, but the weather here. Ah, that was Fran. Okay. Sometimes between you and Fran, Jody, I get them mixed up. Who wrote what? Um, well, Debbie, at the moment, I think the advantage to what I'm doing now on the diagonal, and I'm doing this one. Uh, I have to lean back and give my back a little bit of a break here. I'm doing this one kind of like you would do a basket weave stitch in needlepoint. So um, it takes a little bit to wrap my head around. What I'm going to say is I'm doing a snake method, up and down and up and down and up and down, in the manner or following the same path that you would do a diagonal stitch in a basket weave stitch in needlepoint. It's a little hard to wrap your head around. However, what I'm finding is I'm not seeing any column lines. Now, is that because my row is going the diagonal? So there isn't really a column per se where you're stitching like when I initially started um, doing my videos on diagonal stitching, we were stitching 10 rows or 10 stitches across and then down a diagonal row. So we would have stitched out 10 stitches and then stitched that column of 10 from top to bottom or bottom to top or whichever way you found that you wanted to go. Where here I'm doing one stitch at a time down the whole length of that diagonal and then coming up the whole length of that diagonal. So I'm not really doing a column in any direction. I'm not doing a column up and down. I'm not doing 10 by 10 across. I'm not doing a column on the diagonal. So really, my mind is saying, and I could be wrong, and that's why I'm experimenting with this. I'm thinking you shouldn't get any lines at all. Because when you're doing 10 of a row of 10 or even 20 down the diagonal, you're in essence getting that same sense of separation between the two columns as you would get if you were stitching vertical columns. Is that making sense? I I don't quite know how else to explain it, but you're just stitching out one stitch at a time. Well, hello there, Fran. I'm glad you could join us. We were just talking about you. I usually get um, your comments and Jody's comments mixed up. You both are frequent commenters, and I really, really love that. Um, but I had it mixed up. Whose comment was that? Oh, I was looking for a picture, and there it was. And I was looking for something else, and there it was. I found that so it did my heart such good. It makes sense. I can report in some weeks. Are you going to try this, Martina? Just curious if anyone is curious enough to try this way. But it does look like you wouldn't get lines in any direction. Oh, Fran, that's why your ears were burning. Yep, that's why your ears were burning because we were talking about you. Mm, needed a drink. Oh, good, Rose. You guys have to let me know. Please, 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 please let me know what you think. Because I'd be curious. Because you guys know I'm always trying something different. Oh, most of the time. Most of the time. It keeps your stitching interesting. And I'm always looking for ways to avoid lines. Now I do like the way I have considered trying the way Gemma Stitches is doing hers. In essence, she's well, hello, Ms. J. Foxy. Yes, I am keeping well. I hope you are too. Oh, Fran, what we're talking about is I started experiment I started experimenting. You know me. I'm always trying something different. Um, what I'm doing is instead of doing my rows horizontally, 10 across, I'm doing them in a method like you would do basket weave in needlepoint. So I'm doing one stitch at a time down the entire diagonal and then coming back up one stitch at a time. So I'm not doing multiple. I'm not doing multiple stitches across or horizontally. I'm just working one at a time down the entire length and then come back up. Oh, oh, Jen, oh, oh, now I feel bad. Are you still doing survival of the stitchiest? Maybe I'll think about it. If is there a place yet? So that's what I'm experimenting with, Fran. Um, kind of took a little bit of a break there for to give my back a rest. Now let's see. Did I mark? I think I have two more to do and then I can mark off. So see what I'm doing here is just working up. Well, you know what, Fran? I let me do these two stitches yet and I'll flip over and show you the back because that was another one of my concerns. Like right now, since I have so few colors, it's not bad. And I'm thinking, what's going to happen? Oh, Jen, you have over 50% of your death by cross stitch done. Good for you. That's fabulous. I haven't hardly touched mine. Oh, I'm so bad. Um, yeah, let me flip this over. See if I can get it flipped. Here we go. So right now it's not so, let me bring you in. Right now it's not so bad. Oh, look, there was a knot. Oh, the horrors. I might have to fix that. Well, then again, maybe not. I think that might be where I have a thread parked and we can pull that out. But right now it's not so bad. But see, your stitches, it does look, let me get that a little better focused maybe. Just watch me mess you up here and we'll lose the focus. There, one little bit more. No, this is so touchy. There. See, it kind of looks like the little V's when you're knitting. I will say it makes it easier if you want to work your thread under to get under those stitches as opposed to over here where you have to go across. So see here, I started out the normal diagonal, and then here is where I decided to switch. But with just these few colors, the back doesn't look so bad. I'm also wondering what it's going to be like when I get down to oi, 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 oi. What's it going to be like when I get down to the trees? Let's see if we can get this out of the way a little bit. Let's go a little smaller here. There we go. Okay, Lee, you just started trying the diagonal? Well, good, good. And you know what? It's not for everybody. I will say that. Some people, there are people out there that love it. There are people out there that hate it. Um, there's folks that think it's too slow. And, you know, if you do it the way that I've shown in my videos, yes, it is slower. It is slower than stitching cross country because you are changing threads quite often. So it is quite a bit slower. I guess, and again, this is no judgment, absolutely no judgment at all, because each of us, each and every person who stitches needs to find what works for them and a way that they can enjoy it. Because that's what it's all about. It's all about what you like, what you enjoy, and what you can be happy with. So it's a matter of looking, am I stitching for speed? Am I stitching for perfection? Am I stitching just for the joy to stitch? You know, and none of those are wrong and none of those are right. It's what's right for you. So you got to look at where is your satisfaction? Is your satisfaction in I'm going to sit, I'm going to stitch, and I'm going to knock this puppy out in no time so that I can get it up on my wall. And that's okay. Then you want to pick a different method. You don't want to stitch this method because this is not going to get you that. This is not going to get you that unless you want to give it 2, 3 years. My Stitcher's Retreat took me 5 years, just to give you an example. And I think if you look back through my videos, you'll see many, many videos on Stitcher's Retreat. You know, if you want to stitch for perfection, then something like this may be a method you want to try. Because darn, your stitches sure do look neat. I think the stitches look neat. To me, they look, let me see, let me get it here for you. They look even. Um, I don't see any lines. Oh, I think I can never say you guys' names, you guys in the Netherlands. Teen? You know who. Yeah. Okay. I miss you guys too. You guys were really a lot of fun. So I'll think about it. Do you have, I don't think Jenny answered me. Is there space in your settlement yet? Maybe I'll think about coming back. It would get me working on this. But anyway, if you're looking to stitch for perfection, this might be something for you to try. Don't have to. I just put it out there because I'm trying it and I wanted to share it with all of you. Will I stick with it? To be perfectly honest, I don't know. At this point in time, I cannot answer that question. Many of you know me and have been following me for a long time know that, well, this week I'm stitching this way, but next week I'm stitching that way, and I switch it up a lot. And really, the only way you can tell is to flip your work over and look at the back. That's the only way you can tell. My Stitcher's Retreat, I can't tell you how many different methods it had on it. It had a lot. And I think there's a video on YouTube that shows you that. You know, and if your goal is just to stitch for the joy of stitching, that is perfectly okay too. Perfectly okay. You know, you're stitching for you. You're not stitching to please anybody else. You're not stitching to put it in a competition. You're just stitching because it's something you love and something you want to do. And it gets done when it gets done. And you love doing it. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And you may switch your methods. You may have a method that works for you and you enjoy, and that's what you stick with, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. Do you know, that's one thing when I read the different groups, and I will be perfectly honest, I'm not on the groups as much as I was in the past. In fact, I do go onto Facebook. I check Facebook, but instead of checking it multiple times a day the way I used to, I really maybe only check it once, at best twice a day, just because, and that could be a whole nother discussion that we're not even going to go into today, but just because there's been so much stuff on there that has been so negative and whatever, that I don't want to be part of that, and I don't want to have to listen to that. So I don't go on near as much as I used to in the past. And if I do go, I check certain groups, and that's it. Um, so I don't see as much of it, but what I did see a lot of in the past was people. There are that handful of people that can be very critical of the work of other people, and sometimes, in fact, a lot of times, can be downright mean about it. And I don't believe in that. I don't believe that is right. I don't believe anyone has the right to criticize somebody else's work, because if they are happy with what they are stitching, the method they are stitching, and how they're stitching, good for them. Good for them. And it's not up to me or anybody else to say, oh my God, you did it wrong. Oh my God, look at that awful back. Oh my God. Oh my God. Can I empathize? Like the woman who had all of those awful lines that the framer told her, I'm not even going to touch that. You know, can I empathize with her? Can I feel bad because she's feeling bad? Absolutely. But can I say to her, oh my God, why did you ever stitch that much before you decided to change techniques? And you know what? That's not up to me. That's not up to me or anyone else to say. Yeah, that's, that was, those are her choices. And we're not here to criticize. We're here to encourage. We're here to support. We're here to help people, but we're not here to say, oh my God, look at that. And I've been in groups and places where that's what it has been. And I left them. One of the reasons that I've left some of the places that I've left. Not survival of the stitchiest, though. That was just getting too. Uh, but I might be over that now. I felt I felt guilty if I couldn't stitch as much as was needed to complete the tasks. And I didn't like that feeling. But since you guys have place, I'll get a hold of you and think about coming back. Hi Joyce, how are you? Long time no talk. The only wrong thing is if you do need 8 years for one project. That's right. You can't stitch fast enough. Absolutely. I'm not going to tell you how many charts I have. I am a collector. I stitch, but I am also a collector because I have a crap ton of heaven and earth designs. I can't live long enough. I can't live long enough to stitch even what I have started. I just started this one. So let's see. I have started Spread Your Wings in a mini. I have started Once Upon a Time, which is a quick stitch. I have In the Library. Um, Wait, there's something else. What's the other one? Oh my goodness. I'll tell you in a minute. Oh my God. Come on, come on. Okay, why is my app not? Oh, why isn't it not showing me my patterns? Okay, once upon a time, spread your wings in the library. Oh, Jane Woolhouse, the prisoners. It's Jane Woolhouse, the prisoners of something. It's a woman standing on a dock looking out at a tall ship. That one started. So that's two, three, four. Now I started in the garden. So that's five. Plus there's Death by Cross Stitch, Pandemic. Um, Way too many. I can't live long enough. Oh, hi, Brittany. How are you? You just bought Garden of Earthly Delights to stitch for your hubby. That thing is massive. Oh my God. They're all massive. Oh, Joyce, you won the sock race. Good for you. Yay. Yay, yay. I might have to get a hold of you. I have a sock done that I did on 9-inch circulars, and I'm down at the toe, and I'm not quite sure how to do that toe on those 9-inch circulars. So if you use 9-inch circulars, you might be hearing from me. Unless I can find a YouTube video to figure it out. Oh, Marie, thank you. That's why you like my channel. Okay. Yes, I do. Red Floss Stitcher, hello there. Glad you're joining. Welcome. I'm not sure exactly how much longer I'm going to be here. Would you believe it or not? Those of you that have been here from the beginning know my tale of woe when it comes to my laptop here. But so far, thank the good Lord, I'm holding at 79% of my battery. So that's a good thing. But I really had to reduce what I'm using. Like I can't, if I put the camera on that shows me, then it runs down even quicker. So right now, all I have is my camera here showing my stitching and my Samsung tablet with Pattern Keeper screen shared. And that's it. I can't put anything else on or my battery runs out, which really kind of really does upset me because to use eCam is an annual fee. And it's okay. I really like using eCam. It's one of the programs that I have actually figured out how to use and know how to do the things, and I'm really good with that. But it's not cheap. So, in light of that, I want to be able to use all the features that it has, which, given these circumstances, I can't do. So, there may be a new laptop in my future. If I can talk my husband into, oh, he won't say anything. He'll say, just do it. Although I don't want to spend that kind of money without running it by him first. And I can always trade this one in. Martina, you finally got to 15% of the stitching shelf. Yeah, you sure can collect a whole lot of charts before you finish that. Amy Stewart's designs are, and here I sit not stitching. Amy Stewart's designs are gorgeous. They really are. However, talk about confetti hell. Oh my God. Yes, Red Floss Stitcher. Yes, eCam is a software to stream. It's for um, Apple products, Mac. So I'm running a MacBook Pro, but I think I need to upgrade it to a MacBook Pro with the M1, the new M1 disc. But yes, it's just for iOS. It does not run on a Windows computer, if that helps. I really like it. I tried OBS. Oh, Joyce, that's right. Black Friday is coming up. I wonder if they're going to have a sale. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, we might have to check that puppy out. Um, yeah, I tried OBS and I just could not get the hang of that. Um, and I had used Ecamm. I canceled that and went to OBS, and I just couldn't get the hang of it. So even though that was free, but it just wasn't working for me, and I went back to Ecamm. So, like I said, it's a little bit costly, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. But if I'm going to pay that amount of money, I want to be able to use all the features. Okay. I had it set up, and that's again when my battery was running out, that I had an animated opening screen and had a video in the beginning and all that stuff, and that was killing my battery. And when my battery dies, Ecamm crashes. So, oh, you guys, don't be telling me about sales. I don't need to buy any more charts. I need to save my pennies for a laptop. No more charts. No more. Oh, I say that. How many times have I said that? And I keep buying. So, a word to the wise, you folks that have not retired yet and who are thinking that you want to collect charts now so that you have things to stitch when you retire. Well, that's all well and good, and have at it and knock yourself out. But fair warning, when you retire, you're going to buy just as many because there's always something new coming out that you just think you have to have. So if you want to convince yourself that you're going to get it all now so that you don't have to buy anything when you retire, you go right ahead. But I'm here to tell you, you're going to buy it when you retire. Because that's what I did. And let me tell you, it didn't work for me. I bought just as much since I've retired that I did before. Oh, Red Floss Stitcher, you didn't, OBS didn't work for you either. Oh, glad to know it wasn't just me, because buy just as many. Yep, yes, always some. Yes, there's always something new coming out. And then you look at this new stuff and you go, I gotta have that. I need to have that. I want to stitch that. And then not only do you buy it, you think you have to start it. Now, I have tried very hard to limit myself. Jody, I don't understand why they retire charts. I think it has to do with the fact that, okay, you take just for example, you take some of the sampler designers, say Nicola Parkman of Hands Across the Sea. When they have charts printed, they have probably a minimum of the amount that they must get printed. Okay. I don't know what the number is. I'm just going to pull a number out of my head. Say, um, say the minimum printing for a chart is you have to get 1,000 printed. Okay. So they do that. Prior to having it printed, they don't know, is this chart going to be something everybody and their brother wants? Or is that chart going to be a bust? So they get 1,000 printed, not knowing which direction it's going to go. Is it going to be good or is it going to be bust? So that chart takes off. That 1,000 charts is gone. Then they have to ask themselves, okay, I know in order to do another printing, I have to have at least, again, I'm just pulling a number out of my head. I don't know what their numbers are, but I have to have another 1,000 printed. Do I want to take the risk that it's going to continue to be a popular chart, or it's going to be nobody's going to want it anymore? So there's the risk. So some designers say, well, I'm not willing to take that risk of getting that amount of charts printed, because if I get another, again, just a random number, 1,000 charts printed and they don't sell, then I am out the cost of that printing. So now instead of making the minuscule profit that I make off of each chart, which really probably isn't much at all, now I'm even out of that profit because I've got that printing and they didn't sell anymore. Then what happens is, okay, I mean, and they have reprinted some. Take Blackbird designs, for example. Then those out of print charts go for phenomenal prices on eBay. Then I have to ask myself, or I as a stitcher think, if that chart's that popular that it's going for $500 on eBay, why doesn't Blackbird have that reprinted and have them reap the profit instead of me as a consumer turn around and selling it, and maybe I paid $20 for that chart and I'm selling it for $500, so I made $480 profit off that chart. But yes, you're also right, Fran. Sometimes they don't renew the copyright contract. And that's another, that's another thing that, oh, sorry, I keep bumping this, that goes on with the question of, is it going to go out of print, or is it going to, are we going to have more printed? It's unfortunate that whatever the scenario is, that designers aren't, that when they have a chart that's real popular, and we all know that there were Blackbird designs that were very, very popular. There were, other designers that their charts are very, very popular, and they don't reprint them. And then, yeah, they're hard to find. Yeah, they go for outlandish prices. But again, it's all up to that designer to decide, do I want to take that risk? Given that the copyright renewal isn't an issue, they have to decide, do I want to take that risk of getting another, whatever the amount is, printed, and then they don't sell? And I can understand that too. So, it's hard to say. It's very hard to say. We all wish, and then but then again, there's issues with that too. That's one of the beauties of PDF charts, is that they don't have to worry about printing costs. Yeah, you're right, Diane. Copyright does go the life of the author plus another 70 years. So that's a long, long time. A long time. Now if that designer is selling their charts as a PDF, they can avoid the printing, the hard copy printing. However, then that presents a whole nother set of issues. Yes, licensing is a different issue. You're right. If I'm the artist and you want to stitch my painting, I need to give you license to do that. I need to say it's okay. And we have a contract for you to chart my artwork, just like Heaven and Earth Designs has contracts with Dominic Davidson, with Amy Stewart, with all of their designers. There's a licensing contract that says, we give you permission to chart this design and sell it, but then you have to pay me. I think that's how it works, Diane, correct me if I'm wrong, but then that designer, the person that charted it, has to pay that artist a commission or some kind of fee for every chart that they sell. So, it all it's a complicated process. And when you're selling things PDF, there are other issues. We all know all the illegal copies of people that are around, like places that have pirated, say, Heaven and Earth Designs, and they're selling them on their website as their own, or so, and then they're selling them cheaper, which then in turn takes the profits away from the original. Oh, Kath, who knows? Who knows? She says maybe Blackbird is selling their overstock secretly on eBay. Call her a cynic, but why not? And you know what? Who knows? Who knows? And there's also people that buy a chart, say eBay, for instance, and then they make copies of it and sell the copies. You know, it can be a cutthroat world out there. Yeah. Good idea, Diane. Diane always kept the copyright in her name. Her patterns were published in a magazine, but they did not have the right to republish them in a collection without your permission. Yeah. Oh, Marie, I'm sorry you have to go. You don't want your husband to starve. Well, thanks for joining. I'm so glad that you were here. Have a good dinner. Keep hubby happy. We don't want him to starve either. Yeah. I'm looking at the time here too, and this actually worked out better than I thought it would as far as time. What are we looking at? 2 hours. Whoa, you mean I have been jabbering at you guys for 2 hours? And I didn't run out of battery. Oh, well, that's a plus. Maybe there is hope. Either way, either way, we're either going to get this resolved or we're getting a new laptop. One or the other. That's just the way it is. Hubby will just say, just do what you want. He's so good. I'm so spoiled. I really am. I am so spoiled. But that's okay. I'll take it. I'll keep him. He better hang around. So I think Stitchy Witch, Carla, is going to be streaming soon. I want to say oh, she's going live in 30 minutes. So if you guys want to catch her, if you guys, yes, Jody, he is a keeper. He is a keeper. 40 years. 40 years will be, well, we're married 39. Next year it will be 40 years. And we were together 5 years before that. Holy smokes. That's a long time. But he's a keeper. He certainly is. So, Stitchy Witch is going to be starting soon. So, I hope all of you will join her live stream because I know I'd like to catch her live. So, what I'm going to do is say goodbye for now. If things go well, I might come back on this evening for a little bit. If not, I'll be on tomorrow for a little bit. So just keep an eye out. I'll send out a warning. I'll give you all fair warning that I'm going to go live. Um, and hopefully I will see you then. So go catch up with Stitchy Witch, and I will see you either this evening sometime or sometime tomorrow with fair warning. So thanks all of you for joining. I love you all. Jen, and who else was here? I forget. Joyce. I will get a hold of you guys about possibly coming back into Survival of the Stitchiest. However, I'm not going to feel guilty if I can't get a lot of stitching done. But I'll get a hold of you. I'll send you a message. So with that, folks, take care. Remember, always find your joy. And in stitching, do you. And don't worry about anybody else. I love you all, and here I go. I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Take care.